This conference will now be recorded.
We are going to discuss about the models of software development lifecycle.
Okay.
Now, we need to know why models required and what are these models all about.
Okay.
I'll give you an example, which is something generic. The generic example I'm giving you,
Yeah.
so that you'll be understood why these models are important when you're developing something. It's not only an SDLC, but in generic example it is. Let's say, for example, you are manufacturing furniture. Okay, this is what your profession is. A customer has approached you, and customer asked you to develop some chairs, right? Somewhere around 500 chairs he has ordered you to manufacture.
Okay.
So you have discussed about the price, and he has given the design also to you, and you said it takes 6 months time for you to deliver.
Okay.
So customer accepted and he went. Second customer you had came also with the same requirement. Almost he is expecting you to deliver 500 chairs, but in a span of 3 months.
Okay.
Because he has his own urgency, so hence he can't wait for 6 months, right? He has his own requirement, hence he's expecting you to deliver in 3 months of time.
Okay.
As an entrepreneur, you cannot leave that opportunity. You have something in your mind, right? So some plan you have, hence you have accepted that proposal as well. Third customer came with almost with the same requirement, 500 chairs. But as far as the design is concerned, 80% design available with him, 20% is the balance, is not available with you.
Okay.
So whenever we sit on the chair, we lean back, right? We lean back. So the design was not finalized so far. He said like, this is what is there with me. The 20% I am going to provide you after some time. Please go ahead. Please carry on. So if you remember closely, almost same requirement, but expectation as far as the duration is concerned, or as far as the design is concerned, will have a differences. So three customers for you, being an entrepreneur. Now, will you follow the same process for everyone, or will you follow a different process? What do you say? Agile.
Yeah.
So, are you following the same process? Sorry?
Different approach, sir. The process is same, the approach is different. Like you told me in the class demo class.
Right. So the process remains the same, but the kind of approach we handle will be of different. Okay, right? So when we are going to develop the project in the same manner, so whenever we are working on software development life cycle, and irrespective of technology, irrespective of the domain we are working, there are different models we use for multiple reasons. Because some customers doesn't have any changes and all that, so they don't give anything for you. Like whatever the requirements they have given and the timelines, everything is clear to them. But some customers will have constraints relating to the requirements because they want you to change requirements in between.
Yeah.
Some customers have duration constraint. Some customers require what they want at this point in time. Right? Tomorrow I'll see next. What is required for me, I'll give you today. Please submit me today. Right? Tomorrow's work, I'll give you tomorrow. Right? So this is how generally. So different people, different clients, different approach, mindsets, and all that. So even though how technically are we, it is nothing to do with the customer needs. Customer needs are different. So how technically are we? We have to follow certain models depends on the need of the client. The reason why these SDLC models came into existence. The first model under SDLC, of course, we have many models, not discussing about all that. It's not of use. What are prominent in usage that we are discussing. The first model will be called as waterfall model.
Okay.
Second will be called as V model. Next will be called as incremental model. Iterative, Agile model or Agile methodology. So these are the different models and methodologies are there under
SDLC.
SDLC. Different ones. Now, what exactly HDLC waterfall model is all about and how it looks like? So this is the question. If you see a waterfall model, usually looks like this. How water will be flown from top to bottom. So that is how generally a waterfall model looks like. Means analysis followed by this planning and design, implementation, testing, one after another. The major advantage under waterfall model is using this model. I mean to say, it is something very transparent. You don't see any difficulty in using this because any common layman can use it. Because after analysis, you're going for planning and design. Next, you're going for implementation and followed by testing and so on. So whoever are involving in project development doesn't see much difficulty in managing this. Right? This is what generally a waterfall model stands for. Means it is easy for us to manage, easy to understand. So one after another we are completing it, and it is better for small projects, not for big projects. Small, whatever the small projects do we have and all that, it is better for them to work on. So these are the advantages because better for small projects when there is an assurance that no changes in requirements taken place.
Yeah.
That we have because if customer has given the requirements, all of a sudden if he's changing requirements in between, once we started, it is difficult. I don't say it is not possible. It is possible, but what happened, the amount of time you need to spend, you people need to spend, the amount of effort your employees have to put in will be doubled, right? For example, if to complete the work, it is 30 hours. Because of that, it is taking 60 hours for you for the same effort, right? So operational cost has increased, duration got increased. Means, assume that you are in the implementation stage of the project. And if you want to change some requirements, again, you have to go back. You have to change the whole structure. Why whole structure? Because the project is interconnected, interdependent, right? So if you are changing something, it will be impacted on another one as well. So interconnections will be there. So small projects, it is useful for small projects, but make sure there should not be any kind of changes in between. Okay, so that's the reason why these are the advantages you could see in waterfall. Next, what are the disadvantages? The opposite is disadvantage. The opposite thing is that it is not suitable for long and ongoing projects. What is long and ongoing? What does it mean? Long and ongoing means there will be some clients we come across where they keep on giving some requirements to you, right? So they used to give us some requirements. So you have to travel with them along with their business, right? So you have to add those requirements, deploy that, again giving it to the customer. This is how it goes. Some customers will be of that sort. If you could see e-commerce business, whatever the offer they will be giving in the morning will not be existing by evening, right? Or evening they come up with other offer. So constant changes, constant updations required for existing ones. So if that was the case, this waterfall model is difficult for us to manage because waterfall model doesn't have the provision or flexibility to doing that because it is very standard in size. You don't see much flexibility in it, right? So there is a procedure, that procedure had to be followed. So in between, whatever the changes we would like to do will not be entertained at all. So this is what generally we see in waterfall model. Next will be called as V model. V model stands for verification and validation model. So what is meant by verification and validation? It means both implementation as well as testing you're doing parallelly, if you remember. Means normally if you see any process, especially with reference to waterfall, we work on some requirements. We do some coding part. Once coding is completed, testing usually happens. So once coding is completed, we do testing. This is how generally process goes. But whereas if you see in V model, is changes can be made one after another. Testing and as well as implementation happens both parallelly. This is what the advantage you could see in V model, right? Verification and validation means both implementation followed by testing you are doing parallelly. This is what we call it as V model stands for. So if you're doing this, the amount of time you are spending to complete the work will get reduced because of this. Right? So this is what an advantage of its V model means both implementation as well as testing both are going hand in hand so that the amount of time you're spending to complete the project will get reduced. This is what we call it as V model stands for. Next. After V model, the next was iterative model. What is iterative model? Iterative model stands for there will be a requirement which customer will give us the requirements and all. So we work on something, we deliver it to the customer, some piece of work. As long as customer is not accepted, we are not going for the next level. This is what generally iterative model, more than iterative model, this I can say it says iterative process.
Yeah.
Process, because this process is something inevitable everywhere. It's because it's not something, I don't say it is an outdated one. This is one kind of process which can be incorporated even in nowadays. Even till today, we use this iterative process whenever it is needed. Iterative process, I can say, iterative approach, I can say, rather than iterative model. Means we are working on something, some requirements. So whatever we understood will be shared to the customer. If customer accepts, we are going for the next level. This is what we call it as iterative model stands for. Next, after iterative model, the next is incremental model. Incremental. Incremental means increments, means one after another. Means you are completing some task. Whenever you are working on the next build, next phase. Build means phase, next phase of the development you are working on. You are adding some new requirements into the existing thing. Means you are building something, you have completed something, implemented. Next, whenever you're coming for the second build, you're adding few more into that. This is how generally incremental model works.
So in
Incremental model,
incremental,
sorry.
so in incremental, we come to build 2 or phase 2 after completing phase 1, or
Yes, after completion of phase 1, whenever you're working on phase 2, you're adding some more requirements into that.
okay.
Right? Customer has given the requirements. So in the second build, you're adding some more. Third, some more. That is how generally incremental means you're adding increments into the existing ones.
Yeah.
This is what we call as incremental model. This is also considered as incremental approach, not only model, incremental approach as well. So whatever this iterative incremental approaches are integrated in future models what we are using. So those models or those model will be called as agile model or agile methodology, we call it as. This is how generally the agile looks like. Okay, if you see a traditional model, so we have a project manager. Usually any traditional model you see, you follow waterfall model or V model or whichever model we use. There is a process we follow, right? Project manager will be there. So you have a business analyst, you have technical team members, all that. So there is a hierarchical process, you see. Project manager will take care of costing, budgeting and all, project planning, all that. Whereas business analysts take care of business requirements to the client with the customer. Architect will take care of architecture of the project. Whereas development team takes care of coding, testing, all that, right? Implementation team. This is how generally happens in traditional models.
Okay.
So all this put together somewhere around 30-40 members will be there for every project to work with, right? All the members put together somewhere around 30-40, right? So this is how generally the traditional model structure looks like. So everybody is under their own responsibilities. If I am a business analyst, I am confined only to business requirements. I don't do anything apart. If I am an architect, I'll be taking care of architecture of the project. I don't involve in anything apart. But this is how generally the structure in traditional model goes. But nowadays the situation has changed. So why am I saying all this? Because agile is something suitable. Agile is something inevitable nowadays because, as I mentioned in the beginning, requirements based on the requirement and expectation of the customer, we have to change ourselves. If we are not changing ourselves, what will happen? We will get outdated, right? We'll be out from the market soon, right? So we have to update ourselves according to the market needs. Then only we have that sustainability. Especially if you see in software industry, you require a lot of upgradation from time to time. Why do you require that? As long as if you are not updating yourself, you will not be required for the client or for the company all the time. So upgradation is required in this mankind because we have to upgrade ourselves in regular intervals. In general also, right? Even in being a individual, we have to upgrade our personal behaviors, or we need to upgrade our professional behaviors according to the situation according to the society and all. So then only the acceptances will be there. The same way, whenever we are working on application development, according to the needs of the customers, we have to travel. The kind of models we need to introduce must be in such a way which is flexible for us based upon the need of the client. Because end of the day, client satisfaction is an ultimate motto in any service. In any business, client satisfaction is needed. Because if client is not satisfied, how we'll get the business? So client satisfaction is the ultimate motto, majorly. So here, nowadays, if you see, earlier if client used to provide some requirements, they'll be confined only to that particular requirement. But nowadays, the situation has changed a lot. Situation was not that way. Now situation has changed completely. Now the situation was customer is not expecting him to wait for a long time. Customer wants you to deliver project in very fast because whatever is required for the next 10 days, customer used to provide. The best example you can see, one of the example is e-commerce business. You see how fastly e-commerce has changed nowadays. Maybe because of COVID, the usage of e-commerce business has grown more bigger, accepted. But still, e-commerce, importance of e-commerce, importance of online shopping becoming mandatory nowadays, right or not? The requirements have gone more. Earlier, we used to go for a shop, some shop somewhere in near to our house, and we used to buy provisions. This is how the situation is. But whenever this online business, online shopping kind of model has initiated, not just because of COVID, I'm saying, maybe because of COVID, it was, but earlier, because of the professional challenges one go through, or maybe some other reasons, everything we used to buy in online. This is how the situation was earlier. Not only true, earlier also the same, but the percentage has increased because of COVID. That's a different thing. Okay, so changes in e-commerce business has grown very big. So whenever there is a change happens in e-commerce industry, competition, obviously there is a lot of competition. Expectation of the customer is changed a lot. So whoever is providing services, they also should invent new models. They also invent some new strategies to tap the customers, right? That is required because I told you whenever I explained you about analysis, if you remember, I told you three things. And the third one is future system. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
So retain. See, in any enterprise across the world, whether you are selling a soap or you're selling an airplane, but for any of your client, the soap you may be selling for individual, airplane you may be selling for a country, right? Or for a company. Retaining an existing customer is important everywhere, right? Retaining your customer means this whoever you are providing services, you have to retain them forever, as long as you can. Next, getting new customers, then only business will grow to the next level. That happens. So nowadays the situation has changed a lot. Customers' expectation has changed. Customer delivery, earlier used to see the project deliveries and all usually happens after completion of the project, somewhere around 8 months, 9 months, 10 months, 1 year. After that, we used to deliver at a time. That is how the situation was at one point in time. But nowadays, customers' expectation, because of customer expectation and all, whatever is needed for the customer, you are completing and you are delivering it. That is how generally happening nowadays. Understand? Clear? In marketing, you have a beautiful concept. Neeraja, you might have understood that because from a management this thing.
Yes, sir.
In marketing, if you remember,
Yes.
means how the marketing person should be, or how the marketing person should be, the character of a marketing person should be, because there is an example in that.
Hmm.
Okay, so for example, I am selling Samsung phones. Okay, I am selling Samsung phones. Which
Yeah.
customer don't require? Which customer don't require? But end of the day, I need to be touch with the customer all the time. That is my need. So in marketing, what do we say? Okay, whatever I am selling to you, you're not interested because you don't require that. Fine, no problem. What do you
Hmm.
want? Whatever is required for you, I'll provide. In spite of selling the one which is there with you, in spite of that, the solution is very simple. Boss, what is required for you? Whatever is required, I am ready
Hmm.
to sell. So now what will happen? You can build a
Hmm.
rapport with the right. Maybe in long run, they may be hiring your, they may be purchasing your product, whatever the product you're selling, right or not? Means whenever he has something in your mind that he wants to buy some Samsung phone, you'll be the first person who will be coming to your mind, right or not?
Yes, sir.
Right? In market means sometimes client don't require what we have. Client requires something different. So in mindset is end of the day, this is all about mindset. So what you have to do? Okay, fine. So I am providing you this some X, which is not required for you, hence you are not taking it. Okay. So what do you want? I am ready to provide. So what is happening here? End of the day, providing you got an opportunity to provide service to the customer.
Hmm.
Whatever you are providing service is irrespective of it. Understood? Clear? Kajal, Neeraja,
Yeah.
Neeraja, Kajal. Clear or not?
Sir. Yes,
This
sir.
is what concept is. In this marketing, what people say is be in touch with the customer all the time, either one way or other way. That is what the underlying point here. Whether what you are selling to the customer, how much benefit you are getting out of it, it is irrespective of it. But as long as you are in touch with the customer, today or tomorrow, maybe a day after, you will be the first person recognized by the customer if he wants something urgent. Right? If he call you that day, I want so and so, so that you are arranging it. Even for free software, sometimes you're doing for free of cost. But whenever you want, whenever for example, that Samsung mobile, whenever he wants, you will be the first person get a call from the client. That time, even you're adding $5 or $10 more, customer don't feel right, because the kind of travel with you with the customer don't say, customer, you can clearly say that, boss, this is what I was doing, so this is my additional. Okay, fine, no problems, because you are doing providing service for me for a long time. I don't mind you to add $5 or $10 more.
Hmm.
Understand? You're clear, right? But that you cannot do
Yes,
in
sir.
the beginning day. That you
Yes.
can't do in beginning because you don't have any rapport with them. Even $1 if you put more, customer will question you, right? So why you have taken one more dollar extra, right? Maybe how important it is, it is different, but $1 is an additional cost you are charging customer, you will be questioned. But once you get a rapport with the customer, once you are in touch with customer for a long term, if you're taking two more $3 or $5 more or $10 more or $12 more, doesn't give much difference to the customer. Customer never feel. See, when customer will unhappy, when he is feeling pain to pay, then only he feel unhappy. is happy to pay you, so that there is no point in um, feeling pain or something like, right? So the same way, whenever in the present situation nowadays, understanding the requirements of the customer and what customer requires. For example, you're developing an application called point of sale system. In this point of sale system, if you follow an approach with the customer that what is required for you, that will be provided by me in the beginning. If you follow this process, you will be successful and customer will also be happy. Isn't it or not?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
Means,
Yes.
of course, you have your own plan, you have your own execution process, everything is there in your mind. I never say no for that. I accept it. But apart from all that, what is required here? You are seeing what is required for the client, you are following, right? What is required for the client? Client requires this. Okay. So in this point of sale system, what is needed for you? Okay, I want these front page designs to be given now. Okay, fine. How many days are you going to provide? Okay, I'm going to give you a week time. Okay, fine. So in week, you are completing the task and you are delivering it to the customer. So hence what is happening here? Customer is happy.
Okay.
Understand? Clear.
Yeah.
So agile model, why are we using agile? Because of this reason. This is one reason, right? It's not only the reason why are we using agile. I mean to say this is one reason. Okay,
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
so that's the reason why agile came into existence. And moreover, like to tell you one more that agile is not something new we have introduced in the market. The
Okay.
agile process was there even earlier days, but it may be in a other form, not in the form of the one we are using nowadays. Right? So we have refined it. See, you see any process you see, anything you see in this world, everything is being influenced by other thing, right? It's nothing is
Yeah.
innovation here. So there is no concept called innovation, Nirja and
Okay,
uh,
sir.
um, Kajal. There is nothing called innovation. So everything you have influenced with something and you are upgrading and you are going for the next level. So agile is also something same. Why? Because agile is a process. What we have to know is agile is a process or a methodology
Hmm.
which is not only confined to software development. Not confined to software development. You could see anywhere, even in manufacturing. When you are
Yeah.
manufacturing a car, agile process is required. For example, you are managing a bank, agile process is required. I'll tell you how it is. In a simple
Hmm.
words, I'll tell you. For example, you are a manager. You both are managers in
Hmm.
two different branches.
Okay.
Uh, one day you got customers. You get customers in high quantity, high customers, high quantity of customers you have received. Why? Because outside someone has told that a vaccination drive is going on. So it charges you 1,500 rupees, Indian rupees. So if you pay
Mm-hmm.
by cash, only you get it. Otherwise, no. This is what you get the information from outside. So
Hmm.
all the customers have came to the branch. Even person who wants to withdraw 10 lakhs and who wants to withdraw 1,500, everybody came. The bank is
Mm-hmm.
full of customers. Bank is full of customers. We have hardly two counters to provide service, right? Now
Okay.
this is pandemic time because of corona and all that. So we don't want to uh, gather customers in large numbers, right? That will be risky, what we feel. Being a
Hmm.
Hello.
ask customers to go out, right or not?
Yeah.
Point number one, can't do that. Second, means the importance of agile I'm saying in this example,
Okay.
right? So what you can do as a manager, And you cannot segregate. You cannot segregate, and you cannot show the differences between the premium customers, standard customers, and all. Right? You can't show the difference directly. You can't show it. So what you do, you can reduce the size of the people, whoever is staying there at that point in time. So how do you do that? Okay, you hire 1 or 2 of your employees, guys, come outside, and whoever required 1,000, 1,500 and all, there is an ATM machine beside that bank. You take some people there, right? You take some people there, and some people go to that ATM machine. Other people are supporting. Your staff is supporting. One or two of your guys supporting few people to take money from an ATM machine, right? Some people went there. For some people, whoever is required more than 1 lakh or 2 lakh rupee money, Indian rupees, I mean to say. What you say is, you don't say premium customers. What you say, whoever wants more than lakh to be withdrawn, to be taken into withdraw, please go to upstairs. There is a counter in the upstairs. Please go there so that you'll get money there. So you are divided other people. Understood? Right. Now, whoever are elders, right? Elders came, right, and all that. So you arranged a separate room, and you keep arranged elders there itself. And one of your representative, along with laptop, he went there, and he are doing work in front of them, so that they don't need not to stand on queues and all that. So, is this something planned by you earlier? No.
No.
How you did this depends on the situation. You have changed yourself, right? Whatever the decision we have taken has been changed by, decision has been implemented by us according, based on the requirement at that point in time, what is required, so that you have understood, discussed, executed successfully, and implemented successfully, right or not? So Agile is a process which can be incorporated everywhere. It's not only IT. Because why I'm saying this example, because most of the people feel Agile or Agile methodology is something useful in IT. Yes, absolutely, it is useful in IT, but it is not confined only to IT. Everywhere you could see. For example, you're manufacturing a car. In manufacturing of a car, there is a process called lean, Lean manufacturing, lean process. Earlier, this lean process used to be called as just in time, JIT, just in time. Now the just in time has upgraded, and now we are calling it as lean process. Now, even till today, if you see, the best example is Toyota. Toyota manufacturers successfully implemented a lean process when they are manufacturing the car. Right? So what lean manufacturing tells you? Lean manufacturing or lean process reduces the amount of wastage you are spending when you're manufacturing a car. It reduces the waste. Understand? It reduces the wastage of components you are using. When you're manufacturing a car, sometimes unnecessarily you are adding some new components and all, everything into this. So that will be reduced here. Understand? Clear? Kajal. Neeraj, Kajal. Clear or not? Right?
Yes.
So, you're reducing the unnecessary wastage, and you are making manufacturing more refined. Next, you're saving the time, right? The amount of time you're spending for manufacturing. Everything has changed by you. So, this Agile process is everywhere, not only in project development. Nowadays, we are using this in project development because, as I mentioned earlier, requirements of the customers nowadays has changed a lot. The reason why we are using Agile nowadays. And that too, in Agile, you see, the team size will be in small number. It's not in large numbers. Point to be noted. Right? The reason why I'm showing this diagram to you, if you see in traditional model, the number will be large. Whereas in agile model or agile methodology or a process or an approach, the number is small in size, and this is all self-organizing teams, self-organizing members. Okay. So why agile? For what reason? Why do we do it? How do we do that? What are the different frameworks and processes are there under agile? Next, what are these roles like Scrum Master? All these roles that we are going to start from Monday onwards.
Okay.
Clear?
Okay.
Neeraja, Ajal?
Yes.
So we don't
Any
have
doubt?
class for next few days?
Yes, only weekly 5 days it is.
Oh, okay. I thought
Because it's a regular batch, right? Regular batches will not have classes from Saturday and Sunday. Because Saturday, Sunday, I'll be lined up with our workshops. Tomorrow, I have a workshop for business analysts.
Okay.
Again.
Okay, sir. Yeah.
Regular sessions, weekly 5 days. Monday
So
to
like
Friday.
every day, like 8:30 my time.
Sorry?
Like so every day on like every weekday. So it will be on the
Yes.
same at the same time, like
Yes,
6
yes.
a.m. IST.
Yes.
Okay.
Weekly 5 days of yours. Monday to Friday of you. That's it.
Yeah.
So what about the recorded sessions? Like
Recorded sessions, I told you. I'll forward in
when are
the
you gonna
today.
send it? Like, are you gonna
Yeah,
start to send from?
today I'm sending it. Today I'm sending.
So today you will send both of yesterday and
Okay,
today.
sir. Okay, sir.
Yesterday and today recordings I'll be sharing today. So
Okay.
anyway, this weekend you please go
Okay,
through
sir.
those so that you'll understand better.
Mhm. Okay, sir.
Right, Neeraja? Right, Kajal?
Yes, sir. Yes,
We'll
sir.
meet again Monday. Your Monday. Okay? Your Monday.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
See you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.